Hello, welcome to this your channel on the Eurofan, that's me. Moldova is still consolidating their path in the contest. Another proof of that was the ethnic proposal presented by Pasha Parfeni during last year's contest, who was reprising the Eurovision experience. Although, however, the result has been more discreet this time compared to his first participation. Even so, the country keeps on with its participation as usual, hoping to improve their results much more to achieve their first victory. Let's see now who was the artist this time, which is a well-known face for many, that had the chance to represent Moldova on the main stage of Malmo. Here we go. For today's episode, I'm going to review the Moldovan entry for Eurovision 2024, which has been represented by singer Natalia Barbu with the song In the Middle. We start by reviewing about her biography and career before having the Eurovision experience once again in Swedish lands. Natalia Barbu is a Moldovan singer, songwriter and violinist in the genres of pop rock and gothic rock, coming from the city of Balti, located at the north of the country. She comes from a very musical family environment, as her mother is also a singer, his father is a conductor, and her maternal grandparents have been in a choir. At the age of 7, she moves with her family to the city of Rivnica, located in Transnistria region, where she will develop her passion for music by having violin classes in a musical school of the city to her father's wish. Curiously, as she revealed herself in many interviews, she did not like to play the violin at first, to the point of feeling herself tortured and obligated to play the instrument while the rest of the kids will play it. But with the years, those thoughts will radically change. So much so that she will continue her violin studies in a musical academy by fully mastering the musical instrument. With the Transnistria War in early 1990s, life would be impossible for Natalia and her family, then deciding to move to the country's capital, Chisinau. Shortly after, her mother would join the folk band of Mulgirl as a vocalist, where Natalia also joined her as the band's violinist, which will suppose her beginnings as a musical artist. Although the violin has always been part of her, her beginnings as a singer will come by taking part of a folk orchestra in the high school where she was studying. During her time in Chisinau, she was enrolled for some time in the conservatory of the city, but she ended up dropping off after evidencing that the level was pretty low than expected, then deciding to finally develop her skills as a singer. The year 1998 will be a prolific one for her, having participated in 3 pop festivals and winning the first prize in all of them. Her musical career was becoming truly promising. 1 year later, in 1999, she thought about taking part of a band, taking into account her previous experience in the band she was with her mother, but she will later change her mind to pursue a musical career as a soloist. She will continue to participate in diversity of musical festivals in her native country and also in Romania, Ukraine and Belarus, getting many acknowledgements for her career. And a couple of years later, in 2001, she will join forces with the jazz folk group Trigon to work in her debut studio album, featuring songs both in Romanian and English, and that was conceived as an experimental project without aiming for a commercial success. In 2003, she would release her second studio album, which did not get too much transcendence. And a couple of years later, she will finally sign a 3-year record deal with a Romanian record label, with which she will start to get much more notice both in Moldova and Romania. During that time, she will have the chance of representing her native country at Eurovision in 2007, having been internally selected by the Moldovan Polish broadcaster to attend the contest held that year in Helsinki, Finland. She will compete that time with the song Fight, with which she will achieve an outstanding 10th place. Just before finishing her record deal, she will take advantage to release 2 more studio albums. The first one in a pop rock style, which included many of the singles released in that time with the record label, also featuring the song with which she has participated at the contest 2 years earlier, and the second one in a folk style, performing traditional songs accompanied by a folk music orchestra. Thereafter, in 2012, she will be releasing more singles in Romanian and English, with the help of producers and songwriters of the Moldovan musical scene. And then, early in the following year, she will make another attempt to repeat the Eurovision experience again, but this time for Romania. After being selected as one of the contestants of the non-Romanian national final Selecția Națională, after having been discarded from the Moldovan national final before, she will participate that time with the song Confession, but unfortunately she will end up eliminated during the semi-finals round. After that failed attempt, Natalia will remain relatively active for the following years, until 2021 when she releases her fifth studio album fully in Romanian, with which she gets a quite modest performance. Apart from her musical career, she is currently married with a Romanian businessman, which marriage has been widely criticized initially in the tabloids of both Moldova and Romania, due to the age gap between the both of them. But despite of it, they have remained together and happy, by also having a son and currently living in the Romanian capital, Bucharest. It is true that she had a lower profile in these recent years compared to her beginnings, although however she does not look side of the contest. And then, it was during late last year when she will make another attempt to represent her country after being convinced by her producers. Let's see how and what it will be her second attempt. The Moldovan public broadcaster will organize what it went to be the second edition of their national final Etapa Națională, to pick the artists and the song that would represent the country in Sweden. The submission period was open in late November of last year for the Moldovan artists and songwriters who were interested in sending their proposals, closing it by late December of last year. Just after the deadline, the process will immediately begin by doing it in 3 phases. In the first one, an expert panel will review the received proposals, selecting 32 of them, which later ended up being 30, to participate in the live auditions. In the second one, a jury will be in charge of selecting the 10 contestants, which later ended up to be 11, that will participate in the televised show after the live auditions round. And the third and last one, the final show itself, with the finalists competing to get the ticket to Malmö, and being Natalia among the selected ones. Among the contestants besides Natalia, there were also some known faces. First was the singer Aliona Moon, who represented Moldova in 2013 precisely in Malmö, who was initially appointed to participate that time together with the singer Mila. But one day after the reveal of the shortlisted participants that would attend the live auditions, Aliona and Mila decided to withdraw without offering any explanations, which have resulted a little mysterious and confusing. In the other hand, there was also the singer Denis Midone, who represented the country at Junior Eurovision in 2012 during the edition held in Amsterdam, Netherlands, that have participated in the live auditions, but in the end he did not get a spot into the national final. The televised show will take place in last mid-February, where the winner will be chosen like in the last edition, with a combination of the votes from the jury and the public through an online voting. After the performances of all the finalists, the voting results reveal a tie in the first place, as Natalia and singer Valeria Pasha got the same score. But at the same time, there was not a tie-break rule. With the situation happening, the organizing committee of the national final will have meetings to figure out how to break the tie, deciding to grant the victory to Natalia in this case, after being the absolute favorite for the jury, just having after 17 years the right to represent Moldova again in Malmö. But the issue did not end there initially, as the runner-up Valeria Pasha filed a complaint to the broadcaster appealing to the transparency of the results, after being herself the absolute favorite for the public. In this sense, the broadcaster replied to the complaint, arguing that they had detected in her case a total of 950 votes from invalid phone numbers, as well as a certain number of votes sent from at least 48 different countries, probably by using VPNs. Obviously, after that reply, she would have decided to remain silent and accept the result to not add more fuel to the fire. With the issue solved, Natalia then remained as the winner of the national final, started to prepare her proposal ahead to her participation in Malmö, also working in the recording and production of the official music video for it, releasing it officially a day before the first semi-final. a track which talks about inner self-discovery. Let's see a little more about this proposal with which Natalia has attended the contest for a second time. The melody is an ethnic pop track, which comes to attention by being quite different from what she has done in her career, with mostly pop rock oriented tracks, while Natalia's voice, in the other hand, has a certain mystic touch, without losing that power that is very characteristic of her, standing out in particular the high-pitched humming she does in the last chorus. The lyrics have been written in English by herself in this case together with another songwriter, getting inspired in her son and in the feeling of love in a much global spectrum. According to Natalia herself, the song talks about the flight of the human soul, the heart, which is located in the middle and leading precisely to the song's title, advocating for the search of our true self by connecting to our divine self. Reading the lyrics in detail, there is a conversation with an angel-like person, encouraging to open its eyes, its mind, and its heart towards different things, and by not being afraid to spread its wings and being happy. I will say that the message of the song talks about love in a wider sense, maybe in a much spiritual matter, with the purpose of finding ourselves and finding our sense and mission in this life. Having seen a little more about the song, now I'm going to analyze the official music video that has been developed for this proposal. The plot in this case is presented quite specific and simple. First witnessing imagery of the sun and the air in the outer space, to later change the scene to a long and dark place, seeing Natalia in the middle of a group of people with white slim outfits, and remaining motionless, some of them holding violins, as well as a female angel that looks like frozen inside a big ice cube, while there is a brilliant and beating being in the heart of that angel. The dynamic is focused on shots of Natalia, that is moving herself in freestyle, staying in the same place, as well as of the people that are still motionless, standing out intermittent spotlights above some of them during the chorus. During the instrumental bridge, the lighting gets warmer, and the giant ice cube breaks out in multiple pieces, revealing that angel that has gone out of that freezing state being full of life. With the last chorus, all the people start to move, to make freestyle movements like the ones done by Natalia, until the performance finishes with a shot of the sun, while many pieces of stone shapes the song's title. Like many of the contestants from the audition, Natalia also has presented her proposal live in many of the Eurovision pre-participant season, but before then it was during the Moldova national final where she presented it for the very first time. Let's see how were her live performances, from her participation in Etapa Națională to her performance in the contest. Recalling her performance in the national final, this was focused on her together with 4 backing dancers dressed exactly the same way. Black blouses with transparencies except for the chest and black skirts, and all of them with the hair dyed in blonde and stretch. Each one of them had a stand holding a violin, which remained there during most of the performance. The lighting is very basic, while in the visual graphics there is imagery of whimpers, smoke, and Greek statues. In this sense, the performance was quite static, with Natalia at the backing singers technically not moving too much, just only making movements with their arms as the song progresses. Very similar in this case as it will sing much later in the music video. The only distinguishing part into the performance was the instrumental bridge, with all of them taking the violins from their stands and playing them, or at least it looks like. I'm not sure if they are really playing them live, or if it is the backing track, while in the visual graphics a crown appears. I have to say that I do not have any clue of the meaning of this in the performance, to be honest, returning back later to the same dynamic of before until the end of the performance. Her performance was pretty right, vocally speaking, but I have seen everything too abstract that I did not get nothing at all. My thoughts at the time were hopping on her to think about it a little more and do a workaround ahead of the contest, because this does not have any sense. For the staging in Malmo, however, it could be seen during the first rehearsals that it will be completely different to what she has presented in the national final, thankfully. In this case, she will be alone on the stage, wearing a white outfit with golden details, having in mind to look like a Greek goddess. dress and playing an electric violin of the same color, discarding the backing singer she had during the national final. According to her, it was decided to do a live tickets to address the contest of the song from a personal perspective, but at the same time to save expenses. And I think honestly that this is mostly the main reason rather than the previous one. In the other hand, the lighting will have blue and purple tones, while the visual graphics will radically change, seeing a tree, butterflies, an ocean, and even wings. I was about to see how all those things will fit throughout the performance. Watching her live performance in the first semi-final, it starts with Natalia being at the center of the stage, being in a sort of island drawn in the leg screens of the stage floor, while an ocean is seen and looking like she's in an abandoned island. Like in the national final, she does not move too much, just doing the same movements with her arms all the time. As the first chorus approaches, a big tree starts to flourish, while thousands of moths fly around it, and many fish swing around the island where Natalia is. Shortly after, you can see sparkles forming from both the tree and the island, maybe symbolizing a spiritual energy transmission to the environment. With the second verse, some additional island appear in the visual graphics, which starts to bloom heavily while she continues with the performance. As the second chorus approaches, many butterflies also appear both in the leg screens at the bottom of the stage and the LED cubes, which are increasing in number while the lighting becomes a little more energetic. For the instrumental bridge, Natalia takes the violin from the stand, and then all the visual graphics disappear to show some wings, insinuating that maybe she is that angel that is transmitting energy and life through the melody of the violin. By the last chorus, the visual graphics from before come back, but this time looking golden. And then an energy sphere is formed around the tree which encapsulates it, raising later to the sky and releasing all that energy in the outer space, thus finishing the performance. I have to say in this case that this staging looked more cohesive, much better related with the background of the song, in addition to her vocal performance that was just flawless. So I thought at first that she could have possibilities on qualifying for the grand final. However, the few points received for the public were not enough to make it, thus placing third to last in her semi-final. Making a summary of all the comments, the Moldovan entry for this year was not too attractive for me. Obviously, we are talking about a completely different proposal from the one she has presented 17 years ago in Helsinki. Natalia was then in the peak of her career, evidently, having a very different musical and artistic style compared to this one presented this time. And certainly a lot of things have changed on her both artistically and personally, which is naturally reflected in the music she's currently doing. But the problem is that despite the fact of having an interesting message, this proposal seems too generic for me. I feel that it lacked that particular and distinguishing character that could make it stand out among the other proposals and that playing against her. The result has been unfavorable for Moldova this time, after being eliminated in semi-finals, and for Natalia by not replicating the same success she had with her first participation. It is not clear which will be her next steps after participating in the contest, or if this flag sufferer will represent a turning point in her musical career. The only thing we know is that Natalia has stated to feel happy with the presented proposal despite the unexpected result. Beyond this, time will tell if we will have more news from her in the near future. And you, what do you think about the Moldovan entry for this year? Leave your comments down below as usual, thus we can keep the discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Before I finish, give a like to this video so it can be reached to more people. Take advantage to subscribe to my channel as well, enable notifications by the bell, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.